है और इस नई शिक्षा नीति के खिलाफ में कर्नाटक सरकार ने एक सुनियोजित प्लानिंग के तहत, जिसके बारे में मैंने पहले भी बात किया था, उनकी एक अहम भूमिका रही है, जिसकी वजह से स्टेट एजुकेशन पॉलिसी का निर्माण हो चुका है और उसकी क्रियान्वयन के ऊपर एक व्यापक विमर्श हुआ है। और जैसा मनीषा जी ने कहा कि जिस स्तर का कर्नाटक सरकार ने सहयोग किया है बुद्धिजीवियों को, शिक्षाविदों को, वह अभूतपूर्व है। इस तरह का प्रयास मुझे लगता है कि भारत के शायद ही किसी राज्य के अंदर वहां के राजनीतिक लोगों के द्वारा इतनी संजीदगी, इतनी जिम्मेवारी के तहत एक इतने बड़े मुद्दे को लेकर के उन्होंने खुद अपना समय देकर के इसमें एक व्यापक बदलाव की जो कोशिश की है, मुझे लगता है कि न सिर्फ वर्तमान में मगर आने वाले समय में भी वहां के जो बच्चे हैं, वहां के जो लोग हैं, इन सभी लोगों का ऋणी रहेंगे कि उन्होंने उनके बुनियादी लड़ाई में एक इतना बड़ा योगदान दिया है। और न सिर्फ अभी, न सिर्फ वर्तमान में आने वाले 5, 10, 15 सालों में, मगर इसका प्रभाव आने वाले 50, 100, 200 सालों तक दिखेगा कि एक राज्य सरकार अपने नागरिकों की बुनियादी लड़ाई को कितनी संजीदगी और कितनी गहराई से लड़ रहा है। और ये सोचने और विचार करने की बात है कि जब कर्नाटक सरकार के लोगों को लगा कि शायद इसके ऊपर बौद्धिक दृष्टिकोण, मनीषा जी और डॉक्टर सुधांशु जैसे लोग जो बिहार से ताल्लुकात रखते हैं, वो लोग देख सकते हैं, तो उनको भी उन्होंने अपने राज्य के अंदर बुला करके इन कामों की जिम्मेवारी सौंपा। डॉक्टर सुधांशु जी जो आज नहीं आ पाए हैं, वो अभी बंगलोर में हैं और नई शिक्षा नीति के विरोध में जो कर्नाटक सरकार ने स्टेट एजुकेशन पॉलिसी का निर्माण किया है, उसमें सुधांशु जी आज भी बैठ करके वहां काम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनकी 5 दिवसीय कार्यशाला है जिसकी वजह से वो नहीं आता है। तो आप ये सोचिए कि इस तरह के काम के लिए एक पूरा व्यवस्था लगता है। राज्य सरकार का हर एक आईएएस अधिकारी, उसका मंत्री, उसका विधायक, उसका राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ता एक राज्य का कितना जागृत है और उसके अंदर कितना दृढ़ निश्चय है कि वो अपने राज्य के नागरिकों के लिए इतनी लंबी और इतनी मजबूत लड़ाई लड़ रहा है और कई स्तर पे उसके ऊपर विमर्श स्थापित कर रहा है। हम लोग बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं डॉक्टर सुधाकर का कि उन्होंने इस तरह का अभूतपूर्व काम किया है, जो हमें भी बहुत स्तर तक एक राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ता के तौर पर भी प्रेरणा देता है। और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि हम इन सभी लोगों से, जो कर्नाटक के हमारे साथी आए हैं, उनसे प्रेरणा लेकर के बिहार के अंदर भी नई शिक्षा नीति के विरोध में एक व्यापक पहल करेंगे। मैं डॉक्टर सुधाकर जी का फिर से अभिनंदन करता हूं। मैं उनसे आग्रह करता हूं कि वो आए, अपनी बात कहें, एंड यू कैन स्पीक इन व्हाटएवर लैंग्वेज यू आर कंफर्टेबल सर, व्हाटएवर लैंग्वेज।
Namaskar. Good evening to one and all here. I speak a little bit Hindi. I don't know. I won't be comfortable speaking in Hindi fully, but probably in between I'll be able to speak. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Member of Parliament, my namesake, Sudhakar Singh ji, for inviting me to be part of this Bihar Niti Vimarsh Samvad. So, thank you, Mr. Sudhakar ji. Also, I would like to acknowledge the great support, probably the man who is anchoring this entire program from the morning, that is Shashwat Gautam. And also, we have with us Professor Subodh Mehta, who is also active spokesperson of Rashtriya Janata Dal. And already we have Professor Manisha Priyam. Madam spoke really very aggressively, probably very practically she spoke, and she's also a member in the commission of Karnataka State the policy, education policy commission. She's also actively participated and she has contributed a lot through her experience over the period of years. And also we have amongst us is another young Dr. Vidyarthi Vikas, who also spoke about the actual status and the scenario in the state of Bihar. And we have our own, my own Vice Chairman of Karnataka State Higher Education Commission, Professor Niranjana, who also spoke about the initiatives, probably the transition of from the new education policy to state education policy, how it has been transferred, the transfer of how it has happened, transition how it has happened, as well as the difference between the NEP and the state education policy, what we have implemented. Also, we had renowned Professor Prabhat Patnaik, who spoke very well about practically what is to be done. And also Professor Praveen Jha also spoke extensively. And already today in the afternoon session, we had Mr. Dipankar Bhattacharya, who is probably known for his fiery addresses, and he spoke through his heart. And we have our good friend, the Congress party leader in the Assembly of Bihar, Dr. Shakil Ahmad Khan. All these people have thrown a lot of information as to how things have to change, what is the situation in the state of Bihar. I would like to start saying that historically Bihar, because Madam was saying that when the University of Patna was established and when the University of Mysore, in the year 1960, the University of Mysore was established, and in fact she was trying to reveal how the history of probably the people behind establishing and the people who were instrumental in trying to establish the University of Mysore. And similarly, if I look at with my experience and my knowledge, I see a lot of IAS officers in Karnataka who are from Bihar. I'm surprised to see that with so much of talent, which has really achieved becoming a IAS officer or becoming an IPS officer or cracking into the civil services. It's not so easy. Until unless you have a very strong foundation, primary foundation, you won't be able to get into these high positions. I don't know where Bihar has lost track. I don't know where things have not moved in the direction. I don't want to talk much about the past and everything. But I am still surprised, and I feel that there is a lot of potential here. Probably, I think youngsters like Sudhakar Singh and our good friend Shashwat Gautam, I think they can lay down a roadmap as to how to tackle this whole problem. And probably we need to face this whole thing in a very planned way, and probably good committed leadership also is required to give more importance, or rather probably support financially to bring the system of education on track in the state of Bihar. So I think with these things, I would like to say, before I go into the actual issue, I would like to say, like the way NEP 2020 has been said that it is a very revolutionary education policy. In 32 years, nobody attempted to ever think of changing the whole thing. Probably I think they have decided to make the Indian graduates jack of all, master of none. Probably if you look at the whole curriculum design or the concept, I think neither we will be well versed in any of the things. We will be just trying to know everything, but not in-depth knowledge about the each and every subject what we are exposed to or what we have learned. So this is where I think the government of India failed to analyze or address the situation, the prevailing education system in the country. See, when we want to give a good governance, I think the present government feels that just by giving statements and certain colorful programs, just if they announce, they feel that they're very popular and they're doing a lot of justice to the people who had a lot of faith in their governance. I feel they have just looked into that instead of looking this whole system of education in this country through the heart. We have to have that sort of I will tell you, when the doctors are said you are supposed to be very kind and passionate and probably compassionate. That compassion also should be there when doctors are serving the people. That compassion should be there. Similarly, as politicians, when we are given, when all of us are given certain responsibilities to govern the people, I think with lot of compassion from the heart, we should really try to bring in changes. Because people, whatever reason they would have chosen us for to lead them, to govern them, I think we need to be very, very compassionate in our acts or in our responsibilities. That is what is lacking in this whole thing. That's what I feel. Probably, see, I just want to compare Karnataka and Bihar. Recently, Niti Aayog, in the month of February, they came out with statistics. The density of higher education institutions in the country. Karnataka is leading. Karnataka has got 66 colleges for 1 lakh students. In comparison to 7 institutions of Bihar, the national average is 30. So I think with all these issues we have to discuss. Before that, I forgot to acknowledge the presence of a lot of eminent educationists, a lot of young postgraduates, a lot of young doctors of philosophy were all here, and many more people who are really eager to see what could be the best for the state of Bihar. And also probably I think there are some friends from media also. I would like to acknowledge their presence as well. Sorry, delayedly, I just thought in the flow I just started speaking on that. So these are the things what according to me, first of all, they should have analyzed the present scenario. See, I was just looking at the statistics of how many students from India are going abroad for higher studies. The number is, it is about 1.33 crore. 1.33 crore in 2024. About 1.33 crore people out of probably 4.43 crore students who are pursuing higher education in our country. So you see the numbers, and these people, they were all being part of the previous system of education. And so many people who are heading very renowned public sectors or private sectors, whether in India or abroad. They are heading Microsoft, they are heading Google. All these people not educated in India, and they've gone to the whichever countries, and they've pursued higher studies there. Without basic foundation, would have been possible for them to achieve all this whatever they have done now? I don't think so. But what I would have appreciated with this government was they should have first had a white paper. What is lacking with the present system? Whether we have proper infrastructure, whether the density is uniform, whether is it proportionate. When the national average of higher education, the density of higher education is 30, whether all states are meeting that requirement. This was supposed to be looked into it. Whether all the institutions have faculty. See, we have a big number. See, if I have to say that there are 73,000 and odd schools in the state of primary and higher schools in the state of Bihar. And when you see only 7%, only 7 colleges are there per lakh, why that suddenly that big gap? Karnataka has got 49,000 government schools. I'm only talking about government schools. I'm not talking about the private schools. What I mentioned, the figures was government schools, because we are talking about bringing change in the system, because government has to take a decision. So I'm only mentioning about the government schools. So when there is 49,000 schools in Karnataka, and as our Higher Education Council Vice Chairman were mentioning, we have about more than 22 lakh students pursuing higher education. Karnataka has got around 1,19,000 students who are in the school education. When it comes to higher education, it comes to around 22 lakhs. People would have joined a lot of other courses in between, so there could be possibilities. But when the comparison, when we try to do, I think each state should have been taken. Each state should have been taken. We should have brought in a white paper, okay, this is what is there. In my own department in higher education, in the government sector, in our government technical and non-technical institutions, we have more than 13,500 guest faculty. Guest faculty is taking up the responsibility of the faculty shortage. This is apart from the 32 public universities what we have. We have a big number of guest faculty, almost 2,500 to 3,000 guest faculty which are part of the state public universities. So this is another aspect we should have observed. And we have almost 44,000 guest faculty in the school education. Because why I am saying is in Karnataka, we have a separate minister for school and literacy education, and we have a separate minister for higher education. We have a separate ministry for medical education. So the medical colleges come under the medical education department. All the schools up to the 12th grade comes under the school education and the literacy ministry. Then anything above that, excluding, we have separate ministry which looks after law colleges. We have separate ministry which agriculture ministry which looks after the agriculture universities. We have a horticulture university where it is being looked after the horticulture ministry. We have animal husbandry ministry university which is looked after by the animal husbandry minister. So we have rural development university which is probably a unique thing in the country which is being looked after by the rural development department. So like this, there are various universities which have responsibilities have been shared. But here, everywhere we have this dearth for the faculty. So Government of India, according to me, first of all, they should have come out with the detailed, factual situation of the scenario in the higher education. They should have discussed with the states saying that, what's the problem? Why you are not able to fill in the vacancies in the faculty? Why subsequent governments? It's not that I'm not blaming the previous government. It is over a period of 20, 25 years this has been happening. It is not today's whatever misgovernance or whatever it is. I don't say that. But they should have sat with the governments and said, okay, Government of India is going to take certain measures. First of all, let's concentrate on improving the quality of education by way of recruiting the faculty. Let us have a proper roadmap. Every 1 year or 2 years, we are going to recruit. Government of India is going to support 50% of the burden, the financial burden will be borne by the Government of India for about 3 years. We will handhold you for 3 years. Later on, the state government only should take up the entire burden, and the entire salary portion they only should pay. Something like that, if they had done, probably would have appreciated. What is that the present Government of India has done from 2014? You all know, in the universities, Madam also knows how UGC used to support the faculty, the professors or the PhD students for research programs. Big time they used to fund the research activities. From 2014, research activities all missing, no funding for the research activities. Absolutely nothing, no support. Then why there is if the Government of India keeps talking, saying that the education is in the concurrent list. The 1942, the 42nd amendment, which was done in 1976. The reason was to bring in a uniform system of education throughout the country. That doesn't mean terms that you can. I think that, see, this concurrent list, whatever education was part of the concurrent list where state and the center both are responsible. We are in 2025. The act was amended in 1976. So many, all these years, none of the other governments tried to intervene in such a way the state governments will have their own reservations and which is not being heard. So like this, I think first of all, the idea of bringing in a new education policy itself is not in accordance with the cooperative federalism, and as well as not in a good intention, not with a good intention, just as a part of there are various schemes and announcements which they have been doing, Swachh Bharat Mission and many more such things which they have been announcing and trying to take publicity, but in the ground nothing much is happening. So similarly this also they have envisaged. And when you go back to the history of the genesis of NEP, I think you all know that it was, the committee was formed in 2015, headed by T.S.R. Subramaniam. Who is T.S.R. Subramaniam? He is a bureaucrat, he is a retired bureaucrat. And who are there in the committee? Another 4 bureaucrats are there and 1 lady representative is there. What bureaucrats can do in terms of designing a policy? See, now Karnataka has appointed, not appointed a bureaucrat. We have appointed Professor Sukhdev Thorat, who was the former chairman of UGC. Very renowned educationist who is respected in every field of education from everybody. He is accepted well. So, and we have not brought in any political personalities into the committee. All renowned educationists have picked and chosen from different parts of the country. It is not restricting only, it is not being restricted only to Karnataka. We wanted a pan-India experience to be brought into it, and also the policy which we are going to frame probably has to be emulated by other states also, saying that okay, Karnataka has come out with a very acceptable and a meaningful, probably thoughtful education policy which we also can emulate, and probably we also could adapt it. With that idea, though there was a lot of criticism from our own people in Karnataka, probably opposition and some certain people, we said, we justified saying that this is the reason we have a person from outside who is well known to be heading this committee, and also having people from different parts of the country to be representing in the commission, as well as giving their inputs, so that we can have a very inclusive policy to be presented. So, but this has not happened. After 1 year and odd time, Subramaniam submits the report, nothing happens to it. Later on, they bring in Kasturi Rangan. Dr. Kasturi Rangan is brought in, and he submits his report in 1 year, 5 months, 21 days. He submits his report. For your kind information, here what I have seen is, there is one report what we have in the state of Karnataka, the Karnataka State Education Policy. This was by our own government, which was in the earlier tenure between 2013 to 2018. So this report was submitted by the Karnataka Knowledge Commission. So this is the book what we have published, but it was not gone into the public domain. But this was headed by Kasturi Rangan. Jnana Ayog, Karnataka Jnana Ayog. So this was headed by Kasturi Rangan himself, and I can mark things, I have marked things. Whatever is been there, whatever has been studied in this, I think it is being directly taken into this National Education Policy, which is again brought by, this is a small abstract of the whole thing. This has been brought out by Government of India. And the study what they have done is, they have picked up 50% or more than this from this Knowledge Commission report of which was given to Government of Karnataka in 2016, and some of the things they have just cut and pasted from certain universities, probably abroad, mostly from the United States. What you have seen is multiple entry and multiple exit, and earlier I think our good friend, I think he was speaking, somebody else was speaking about multiple entry and exit and flexibility what they were talking. My friends are there in the US, many of my friends, even my son is presently working in the US. My friends used to say, not now, about 10-15 years ago, we have been talking to them, they were saying that our children are confused. They don't know what to do. That way, the education system in India is very correct. Up to their college, till they choose their profession, whatever professional course they want, up to there they are focused. They are only focused to plan their career in the days to come. But our children, there's so many things in front of them. Today they will come and tell, Dad, I'm not going to study this, I'm going to take up computer science. Then again after 5 days he'll tell, no, dad, after few months they'll tell, dad, I'm not interested in computer science, I'll do some management course. That is not the age for the students to keep shifting from one stream to the other stream. I shouldn't be saying this. One of my friend's daughter, she's just shifted like that and now she's sitting at home. This is what happens in the US or any other system where you allow the children, their maturity is not there. What system we had a focused system of education where we are concentrating on certain subjects till we reach one stage. Probably once we choose to go into a professional course or whatever course, once we get a basic degree, then we are free to take up any other course. There's nobody to stop you, whether you go for post-graduation, whether you go for something else. How many people in this country who have done their particular subject, who have studied a particular subject, and in their lives, have they been successful in their same subject? They have chosen something else, and they have achieved and they have made a mark in the society. So, this is what, there is no application of mind in the whole thing. They just thought that, okay, announcing something colorful, something very attractive names, multiple entry, multiple exit, and open elective, skill, that, this. From 3 core subjects, you brought it down to 2 core subjects. And you have given more credits for it. See, we are all at a young age, I was in the hostel, I used to do yoga every day. A school where I was there, it was belonging to Satya Sai Baba school, I studied there. We used to do yoga every day. We used to chant Bhagavad Gita every day. Every day one sloka used to be recited and they used to tell the meaning of that particular sloka. But that doesn't mean that you try to bring in Bhagavad Gita, you try to bring in yoga and say that you're going to give credits for that. I don't want to do yoga. I'll go and play shuttle badminton, or I'll go jogging. I'll do some other exercise. Ultimately it is my health. I have to be fit. You can always say you do this, but you cannot forcefully say that you have to do yoga, you have to get 4 credits. Or whatever credits they have been allotted. See, this is not the way to design a particular policy. And when I go back to the actual NEP, they see in Karnataka, they were very like, they were in a hurry. NEP was introduced in 2020. Karnataka was the first state in the country to announce that we are adopting NEP from 2021. What was the hurry? And that too it was adopted for the higher education. Not for school education. Till today it has not been adopted, or they have not accepted NEP in school education by the previous government. They straight away said higher education we are implementing, just to say that to get some praise from the leadership in Delhi. So, when you talk about school education, see, we are all aware, I studied in a school where I went through nursery education. I went through LKG, lower KG and upper KG. And there are other institutions, and though it was a state syllabus, it was a private school where they had adapted LKG, UKG, first standard, all these things. The entry level was 4 years. 4 years was the entry, sometimes 6 months this way, that way, 3.5, 4 people used to enter the school. And you have CBSE, you have ICSE, you have IGSE, all other courses are there. They have their own system. Some people have Montessori 1, Montessori 2, Montessori 3. You enter it now, what they have envisaged in this national education policy, the entry level is how much? 3 years. 3 years is the entry level. And, okay, this could be well accepted, adapted by private schools which are already following that system. Some schools, okay, who have an entry level at 4 years, that is different. Some schools who have entry level at 3 years, okay, for them it is easily acceptable. What about government schools? They talk about Anganwadis. Anganwadi, we all know. Anganwadi, what is the Anganwadi Karyakarta? What's the qualification they have? 10th standard was the initial thing. Now it has gone up to 12th standard. 12th grade or 12th standard. So, as I am aware, in a nursery school, if somebody has to teach a nursery student, they have to have passed nursery teachers training program, something called as NTT. I don't know how many are aware about that. NTT is the basic thing which they are eligible, qualified to teach. How can somebody who has passed 10th grade, who has passed 12th grade, to do nursery teaching or other teaching? See here, Kasturi Rangan himself has mentioned about early childhood care and education. They have shown here saying that we are going to train all our Anganwadi Karyakartas. What action plan is there? You have mentioned in the book. Everything is there here. But what action has been initiated? What preparation has been done? You are supposed to, first if you have to drive a vehicle, you have to go first learn how to drive a vehicle. We need to get a learner's driving license. Then we need to learn how to drive, and then later on you have to get a regular license, and then you have to drive the vehicle independently. Before getting in certain policies, there should be some sort of a preparation. What preparation have you done? Have you taken the states into confidence? You have not taken the states into confidence. You just said, okay, very revolutionary policy. After the election 2020, you announced, and you are patting your own back yourself. How can it be accepted? So how can this 5 plus 3 plus 3, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, whatever you call foundational level, you call a preparatory level, you call the middle stage, you call the secondary stage. See, all those things, we have a system, we have a primary school. Probably I am not mentioning about the nursery. Primary school is there, higher primary is there, or high school is there. Then we have a pre-university or whatever we call in each state. What way you made it different? You tried to split it in different forms and say that something revolutionary we have tried to bring in. And you are trying to say that we are going to bring in skill sets and all these things at a very young age. I do agree. Even at the 8th grade stage, if we start imparting knowledge about career counseling, about career options, probably we need to structure in such a way that we need to feed them with limited knowledge of career options. As and when they grow, we need to give them more information about career options. And probably at the time when it comes, once they are in the 10th grade, they should probably decide what subjects, what streams they have to take in their 11th grade. And then they can decide about their future professional courses. So this is what they should have thought. Instead of doing all this preparatory thing, they are trying to dismantle the entire structure which has been well established, which is well accepted, and which is successful also. So this is not the way to go about with it, which the government of India tried to bulldoze things. So there is no plan for faculty. There is no plan for faculty training programs. Earlier, I think our speakers were mentioning, everybody wants to be either employed or be an employer. None of them want to choose the teaching profession. Where do you get quality teachers? Without quality teachers, how are you going to produce quality graduates? The governments also have to be responsible. Time to time, we need to do recruitment. We need to instill confidence amongst the graduates, saying that, okay, if you choose the profession of teaching, you will be absorbed in the government, or you will get a suitable job so that you can settle in life. That belief is not there now. People don't have confidence. Years together, there is no recruitment. All these aspects we should have been dealt with, should have been threadbare discussed, and we should have collectively, Government of India and the state government should have sat through. Individually, each state, there should have been a separate plan for each state. For example, Bihar is there. How to bring into the national average, higher education institutions, how to bring in the 30, what is the average, how to bring in that. That there should be a separate action plan for Bihar. In how many years are we going to achieve this? All these things should have been structured in a proper scientific way. with all the financial support. As it is now, because somebody is supporting the government to rule the country, they get certain extra benefit. We are not saying no. Karnataka is paying 4.5 lakh crores taxes through GST and other means. What we are getting back is only 60,000 crores. Whatever we are paying, we are the second highest taxpayer in the country. We are not getting the entire amount to Karnataka. We are not asking them to give the entire 4.5 lakh crores to Karnataka. It is being given to Bihar, it is being given to UP, it is being given to some other states. We agree in a federal system, we don't have that grouse. We accept that reality. But what I am trying to tell is, you should give priority to education and health sector. That is the most important thing. I think Prabhat Patnaik sir was saying about guarantee of employment. Okay, that could be a very little bit I don't say a complex scenario where it would be difficult for the governments to say that we guarantee employment. Because we are dependent more on the private sector now. Employable options are more in the private sector. So like this, I think, I don't know how much time I have got already. So these are the things probably they should have dealt with. Coming back to, I don't want to speak much on the school education, coming back to higher education. See, we have an engineering course which is for 4 years. We have a dental course which is 4 years plus 1 year of internship. I am a dentist. I have done my post-graduation. I was teaching for 10 years. We have a medicine course which is 5.5 years inclusive of the internship. Similarly, we have architecture course which is 5 years. 5 years. We have all courses which have been planned, structured for a particular duration. Now you come out with saying that if somebody wants to go to US, in some universities or some states, they say that you should have completed 4 years of graduation. Just to see that people have to go to only US. Why? The US is the only other alternate destination. There are so many other countries where people want to go. There was our guest here, Praveen Jha, who was Professor Praveen Jha, was there in Germany. So we have various options are there, and that too you don't make that course duration mandatory. You say it is optional. How many people are going to take it? Karnataka, though the NEP was introduced in 21, 22, even after our government came in also, 23, we never immediately withdrew. We said we cannot jeopardize the future of the students. So we were very sensible in our approach. We said let us continue with the NEP this year till we have a policy of our own. Till such time we will not dismantle this. So we allowed them to continue with NEP. We did a survey because 2024, the 4th year was starting. We did a survey where we got a very alarming response. Hardly less than 20% were willing to join for the honors course, 4th year, because it is not mandatory. And finally, now we look back, we have a portal, we have a platform, digital platform. It is called UUCMS, Unified Universities College Management System, where we have all the records of the students, everything is uploaded online, even the fees, everything they have to pay. All the universities are, our public universities are there under that. So we don't see anybody joining for the honors course. I'd been to quite a few private universities, which are being established by government of Karnataka by an act. So they also were saying, sir, how can we invest so much? We have to have a classroom. We don't know how many students are going to opt for the optional 4th year. Whether 4 students, 5 students. Where do we get the faculty for that? And again they say that you can shift to some other institution for your honors because your academic credits can be moved. So who will accept? Government doesn't have that system. I was reading about Bihar. There were so many government degree colleges with only having arts or probably only commerce or only science. If somebody wants to be in a particular town, if there is only one institution in that particular town, if at all he has to move to some other college for honors, he has to move to other town. What is the expenditure for him? If at all he has to get into a private college, he might to pay donation also. So all these aspects have not been thought while planning this 4 year of degree course. So again, the issue of first year. If somebody wants to quit after first year, certificate. Second year it is diploma. Third year you are going to give him a degree, then you give a degree honors. Forget about post-graduation, 7.5 CGPA and all these things, you forget about that. What is he going to do after taking a certificate? He is going to sit at home. With deep knowledge of all the core subjects for 3 years and getting a degree, the students are not being employed. The graduates are not being employed. Even with the post-graduation or even with PhD. What is a person is going to do with just a certificate? You are going to give him a bike and tell him that you go and do e-commerce? Go with Swiggy or Zomato or some other work? What is that you are trying to do? Or when you call for a particular job, how are you going to say? A person with a certificate can apply, then a person with a higher qualification will come. How can you take them on par? Again, that boy will feel sad. He will say that, okay, I should have done my 3 years of course. These people told that with certificate I can do whatever it is, and they tell that multiple entry exit they are talking. As it is, as such in our system, we have 4 years degree course or 3 years degree course. We'll have another 3 years for you to complete your course. Already it is there. Just by giving a fancy, like for example, somebody is doing an engineering course. 4 years, another 4 years is given grace for him so that he can come back within that 4 years and he can finish that. Additional 4 years and he can finish that course. That system is already existing. But you are saying multiple entry, multiple exit. So like this, there are various lapses in the whole system. So I don't want to just take much of your time now on these things. And they talk about multidisciplinary institutions. See, Karnataka, we have a technological university which is established about 26 years ago. We have a medical university which was established again another 26, 27 years ago. We have now exclusive law university. See, earlier to that, all these colleges, medical colleges, engineering colleges were part of our public universities. You know what is the fate of the public universities in Karnataka? And because of this NEP 2020 and our other earlier decisions of yielding to public pressure or political leaders' pressures, we have bifurcated the universities or we have trifurcated the universities depending on the demand, and now the parent universities are suffering financially. For example, Madam was speaking about Mysore University. Such a historical university which has more than 100 years of history, today they are not in a position to pay pension. They are struggling to pay pension. One more thing, the Open University. We have Karnataka State Open University, like IGNO, Indira Gandhi National Open University. People never realized. Earlier, the same public universities used to have distance education. They were getting some income out of that. They were able to meet certain expenditure from that. Once that was taken and brought under the Open University, again their affiliation fees, whatever fees were, the examination or other fees was deprived. By starting medical colleges, engineering colleges, affiliation fees was higher. They were able to sustain. Today, the previous government, BJP government, yielding to certain pressure, said that we're going to establish universities in each and every district. You know what a ridiculous thing they did? They said digital learning. Earn while you learn. With all these captions, they started 7 universities in 7 districts. With the capital amount of saying that only 2 crores. Only 2 crores for the university, All those universities were started in the PG centers of the earlier university with the condition that they will not ask for additional land, they will not ask for additional fund for building infrastructure, the VCs will not buy a car, they will not take additional recruitment. You should see the conditions what they put. This is the governance of Bharatiya Janata Party. Just to please somebody, just to get some praise from their leadership in Delhi, they said we have started. We are following NEP. NEP says that. They were telling me, your own Sam Pitroda has said that there should be so many universities in the country. I don't agree. Probably Sam Pitroda has said about 15 to 17 years ago, I think. Huh? Okay, 17, 18 years ago he has said. I don't think that would have been acceptable. I don't think, if I go to some other country, if I go to US or I go to Europe, I see something, I cannot say that, okay, I will do everything like this. It is not practically possible. How does the higher education system work in the US, madam? Is it subsidized? The Americans themselves, the people who are belonging to a particular state, for them they have certain amount of discount. If somebody from the other state wants to join for higher education in a different state, he has to pay on par with the overseas students. If it is 40 lakhs per annum, he has to pay 40 lakhs per annum. There is no exemption. There is a very minimal scholarship in the US. All the universities are run mainly due to the financial support given by the overseas students or the other state students. Why the Native Americans are not being highly educated or they are not getting into higher education institutions? Because they can't afford the fees. And the NEP says that you need not have a huge campus for the university. You can have a solitary building and you can start a university. I agree, in the US there are different blocks, one block here, one block here, they say this is a university. They say a solitary college can become a university. What is the meaning of a university? What is the importance we are giving for research? Absolutely no importance for research. When there is no research activity happening, how can you call it a university? Just somebody wants to have their own curriculum, have their own system of setting the papers, having their own exam, having their own valuation system, and you call it a solitary or a single cluster university. So, lot of things are there which they have tried to emulate from the foreign countries, which is not practically applicable for our country. The reason being, somebody was mentioning about Dalits and Adivasis and other things. We are a country where I think our good friend was mentioning, what is the percentage of people who can afford in Bihar? Who can afford, whose annual income is 10 lakhs. The average income here, they are saying it is only 6,000 rupees. What is the numbers? We public universities are catering to the people who are belonging to Dalit communities, who are belonging to backward communities, who are minorities, or even the forward communities which they are not able to afford high capitation fees. These are the places, these are the public universities which are catering to them. Our fee structure, for example, for a BA, it is hardly 500 to 1,000 rupees is annual fee structure. Only for BBA, BCA now they are charging 18 to 20,000 rupees. Otherwise, the other subjects, humanities subjects, everything it is so reasonable. What will happen now if we kill these institutions? In Karnataka, we have more than 3,600 faculty vacancy. We are working at only 37% of faculty. Our government is taken seriously. We have formed a subcommittee to look at the overall situation of the universities. We have special universities. We have a university for Kannada University, which doesn't have any affiliated colleges. Government has to handle that university. We have a Sanskrit university. We have a music university, Sangeet University. We have a Mahida University is there. Okay, that has got some support. We have another university, Bihar Ambedkar School of Economics. It has been moduled on the line of London School of Economics. See, we have different sorts of universities. We need to see how these universities, since all the universities are autonomous, they have to be self-sustainable. How do you make them self-sustainable? So like this, there is a lot of issues which probably the government of India had to look into. They should have looked into all these things. They are just patting their own backs by saying that we have brought in a very revolutionary education policy. So like this, if I keep saying multidisciplinary, when everything is split now, you would want to bring them together. I was talking to somebody in my town 1.5 years ago. I asked one student from a private school, I asked him, what are you studying? What course? He said, BCom. I asked him what open elective you have taken. He said, artificial intelligence. Where do a degree college get a teacher for artificial intelligence? If at all there is a university or a campus where there is engineering college, there is related other institutions, probably the student can go and sit in the particular artificial intelligence class in an engineering college. That would be viable. How viable is it going to be when already we have a shortage of faculty and we don't know what are the numbers who are going to opt as an open elective, various subjects. Somebody in the arts college wants to take some other commerce subject as open elective, where there is no commerce course in that college. How do you get a commerce teacher there? So like this, they have not applied their minds. Basically what I feel is, first of all, they should have studied the present system, should have seen that, okay, if at all we try to bring in this, is it going to be easily implementable? If at all it has to be implemented, what measures have to be taken? What preparation had to be done? How much of financial commitment is going to be there? Faculty preparation has to be done. Faculty was supposed to be prepared. We should have focused on faculty readiness. None of these things have been thought. They wanted to announce something and just say that, okay, we have brought in a big change in the system of education in the country. So this is what I think they've done. So another issue is like, we have introduced in Karnataka, from the day when I took over as a higher education minister, because I come from dental background, we learn theoretical part and at the same time we learn the clinical or the non-clinical part. Simultaneously we learn. That is why immediately after graduation, after internship, during our internship, we are free to handle the patients. We come out and we can open up our clinic, dental clinic. After registration, we can open up and we can practice. We are ready to stand our own legs. What about other courses? Now industry requirement is more. Forget about multinational companies or other industries which are coming and establishing in India. Whether they are there today, tomorrow they will go. Our own industries, our own small scale sectors, our own major industries, their requirement is there. There again, they have to pick people, they have to go train them for a year, 2 years, 1.5 years, they have to train them, they have to invest on them. See, this is where I thought we should bring in skill sets within the course duration, give them a proper option for internship options. So try to bring in. So just by saying that I am going to do this, it's not going to happen. I have to be prepared to give that facility for the skills. Whether our institutions have that particular skill related infrastructure. So all these things had to be thought. So we are looking at that now. See, we have started a new course. There was an organization called CRISP. They are called as Center for Research in Schemes and Policies. This has been headed by retired secretaries of Government of India who have served in the Department of Education. They have formed a group and they have tied up with Sector Skill Council. They have devised a program, an exclusive degree program, apprenticeship embedded degree program. Last year we have introduced in Karnataka in 45 colleges, wherein 1,400 students have admitted. We have taken up 4 subjects, BCom in retail, BCom e-commerce, BCom logistics and BCom BFSI, banking, finance, service, insurance. These 4 subjects we have spread out in the state, giving one course to one college. 1,400 students have already joined. They have already finished second semester. The interesting thing in this is the colleges have directly signed up a MOU with the Sector Skill Council. Directly, they are responsible, and already 2 faculty has been designated for that, and that faculty already is gone. For example, if we talk about retail, they go to Chroma outlet, they go to Reliance outlet, they get exposure there, they are trained, and they have a separate curriculum which we have sent it to the BOS, to particular, that's the respective universities. They have accepted that particular curriculum, and in the 5th and the 6th semester, the students get to go work in the Chroma or Reliance outlet. They're going to be paid 8 to, depending on the minimum wages, they could be paid up to 18,000. That whole year, 5th and 6th semester, they'll be paid, and end of the course, after graduation, depending on their performance, they'll be absorbed. They'll be getting 25-30,000. Directly, they'll get a job. This is the industry which is growing very fast. So, this is where we have taken a lead in Karnataka. I spoke about this in one of the convocations in front of the earlier UGC chairman, Mr. Jagdish Kumar, Professor Jagdish Kumar. After 3 months, I hear he makes an announcement that we are going to introduce AEDP programs. After I spoke in length in front of him, he picked it, and then he is announcing that we're going to do. What's happening with UGC? They're telling that biannual admission. For the regular annual admission only, we don't have faculty. We don't have infrastructure. You talk about biannual admission. You talk about dual degree. How is it possible to have dual degree with the present deficiencies? You talk about fast track degree program. How is it going to happen? See, everything they are trying to get from outside. My son did his MS in the US. He had the option to take more credits and finish in 1.5 years instead of finishing in 2 years. There are many people who are our Indian students, they do finish off in 1.5 years to save money. Otherwise, they have to pay another 1 semester's fees, so they are going to save that. So that system cannot work in our country. It cannot be uniform. We are trying to bring in an equal standard of education to everybody, to the entire society. We are not just targeting one particular section of the society. So this is where I think there are so many things. Probably if I can speak for a longer time, I have so much of information because we have effectively implemented. Lastly, I would just like to say that we have effectively, very seamlessly, we have done the transition from NEP to our new state education policy. The final report is going to be submitted by this month end. With the interim report last year they gave, and we have introduced NEP in Karnataka in 2004 itself. So we are expecting a lot of opposition from the opposition party, but fortunately they never had anything to say, because the way our state education policy commission, headed by Professor Sukhdev Thorat and the rest of the members, and Madam also is part of that, I think they have very well applied their minds. They have structured it so well. I think even BJP was the other day commenting, no, it is more or less NEP, but they have added some other things. So we have brought back the 3 core subjects. We have brought deep specialization for 1 year. We have regular, as it is, we have a single subject specialization for all the 4 years. All these things are there. So I think Bihar, so I was told by our good friend Gautam, Shashwat Gautam and Sudhakar Singh that I should conclude. I feel you need not hesitate to take up this issue. Probably, I think you should work up on how you are going to increase the density of the institutions. Draw a plan for that. Probably you should be able to convince people, saying that if at all you give us a mandate in 5 years, yearly this is what we are going to do, this is the amount of money we are going to pump into improving the standard of education and trying to increase the number of colleges, as well as you have to give emphasis on employment. You have to talk about faculty. Recruitment of faculty is one very important factor you should be thinking. I think without any hesitation, you have a lot of positives to talk about probably I don't say unconstitutional, unscientific way of forcing NEP to all the states. I think we can take it forward in a nice way. I want to congratulate Honorable Member of Parliament Sri Sudhakar Singh for taking such an initiative, and all those who are responsible. And I think we had very eminent people who have come across, who have come all the way, and they have given up their entire knowledge has been shared, and their opinion about the national education policy has been given, and also from the political side also, what are the things which are happening in the state of Bihar, where there is a double engine government. In Karnataka also they were talking about double engine. Double engine failed to come on the tracks itself. It got stuck in the yard. Double engine train got stuck in the yard. They are not able to come on the tracks. So I only pray that there is a collective leadership here. They are going to fight unitedly and see that this double engine government is destabilized, and a very progressive, pro-people, pro-poor people, and pro-improvement of higher education government should come in the days to come, probably shortly in Bihar. So, anything else to say? So, I'd like to thank all of you for giving a patient hearing and for having me invited to say a few words, whatever I am aware about in this past 2 years as a Minister for Higher Education. Because I am a dentist, I have done my post-graduation. I was teaching for 10 years and then I entered politics. It's my 21st year in politics. I have faced 5 elections. 2 times I went independent, I lost narrowly. 3 times I won, and my leaders, Rahul Gandhi, our Mallikarjun Kharge sir, and our Chief Minister, Honorable Siddaramaiah sir, and our Deputy CM, D.K. Shivkumar, they all reposed faith, and our General Secretary, Sri Randeep Singh Surjewala sir also. All of them, they have reposed faith in me, and they have given this responsibility. We have done so many more initiatives we have taken. We have done one more program I would like to mention. We have done something called as a Scout program. This was done with the British Council. Students of outstanding talent, Scout. So we sent about 30 students to University of East London on a 15-day education tour. 6 faculty members accompanied, 5 students from each university, total 6 universities. And it was sponsored by British Council. The universities had to pay 1 lakh per student, 5 lakhs they paid for each student. It was such a wonderful program. The students, first time they were having a passport, first time they're flying in an international flight. So this was...
We'll come back.
Okay.